So yesterday was a long, grueling day of poker. Lots of casualties, including lots of big-name players, including the likes of Hendon mobster Ross Boatman.
I managed to win a couple of pots, and I just got myself up to average chips and flopped a set. You know, I raised with sixes on the button, got one core in the small blind, came ace-6 something, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get paid? How am I going to get paid? And I thought he had an ace in his hand, ace-6 something, and he checked. And I bet 2,800, and he just moved all in, and I thought he had the nut flush draw.
I had a pair of 10s in 8 hours play. I don't think you can really do much of that. And I moved all in with King Jack and got called by a pair of jacks, so I wasn't even in a good position there. So it's just the way it is.
When you get into this sort of company, there is a big difference between solid amateurs and the world's best. And I needed more help today than the cards gave me.
So it's the start of day 2, a full day of poker ahead of us. 58 players remain from the 213 starters. Let's catch up with some of them.
Tired as shit is a happy shit.
I'm more or less smack in the middle. I think I got 36,600, which is about 100 chips off the average stack. So I'm probably lying about 24, 25 out of 58, I would have thought.
Yeah, overall, not too bad. I'm going in today. I've got average stack, so, you know, all being well, I can build on that and get to the final table.
I finished the day with 22,000, which I'm not very happy about, but still it's more the devilfish and Kalmar, so yeah, workable.
I started off reasonably well. Didn't really have any hands, just a few good situations. I managed to finish the day just under 60,000, so I'm pleased with that, considering, you know, I had a really, really tough table, lots of young internet guys, really having to like put your heart in your hands and play with your balls, basically.
I'm with John Scally Kalmar, who didn't have the longest day twos. John, it was have a shove or go home.
Yeah, I did most of the damage to myself yesterday, really. So if I'd have looked after my chips a little better, he probably couldn't have called that. So it's one of them, unfortunately. I was probably quite a big favourite. Well, not a massive favourite, but I was certainly a decent favourite, and just not to be, unfortunately.
So yesterday, quite late in the day, we had to say goodbye to Ross Boatman. Now the last of the Hendon mobsters, Joe Beevers, is out. Joe, commiserations. What was the end of the tournament like for you? Any particular big hands?
Yeah, I mean, the way the tournament is structured is a credit to Dusk Till Dawn. It's a really great structure. I played for 4 hours yesterday, where the whole time I was between 6,000 and 7,000, and I never felt under pressure. You know, and to be able to play a short stack like that in a tournament, you can only do that with a good structure. And you know, I just kind of picked my spots and stayed alive. And then towards the end of the day, I found a couple of nice situations. I started the second day this morning with 27,000, which was a little bit under average, but it's very manageable. And there were people moving in on my table with like 25,000, 30,000. They're just moving all in for the blinds, which, you know, perhaps they're not used to playing such a great structured tournament. And it just comes down to timing at the end of the day. I found aces relatively early today, and a guy had raised an early position, and I made a re-raise, and he showed me 2 8s and threw them away. And then three rounds later, he made exactly the same raise in exactly the same position. I looked down and found ace king, so I made exactly the same re-raise, except this time he moved on me and he had the aces. So you know, it's just timing, and my fan belt's broken.
Had a good start. Yesterday I was playing very aggressive. The table was good for me to play that way, you know. But today I'm feeling a different sort of vibe on the feature table. It's a lot tighter game today, but it's working for me. My stack's building slowly. I was on 116, I think, at the start. I'm up to 150 now. So you know, if it keeps working like this, I'll just keep playing the same way and just nicking a bit here and there. And see if I can catch a big hand and then win some big pots. But we'll see how it goes from then on.
Well, I'm very sorry to report that the last woman standing at the EPO is no longer the last woman standing. What happened?
I'm depressed. I'm really upset. I know, it was a really brutal day. I came in fairly short. I had like 18,000. And then I managed to get it up to 47,000 fairly quickly. I doubled, and then I just had the world's tightest table, and I was just stealing, and it was really nice. And then I proceeded to get just sort of cooled, basically. I would continue like trying to steal, but this time I'd have like decent hands. and then they'd re-raise me, and okay, this is awkward, and I'd either lay it down or see a flop, and that would not go well. And then, it was really weird. Like, it seemed every single hand, somebody had kings. I'm not kidding. I mean, not even necessarily against me, but just a lot of kings out there. And then I had like a small blind into big blind confrontation. I had ace queen. Never actually got to see what he had, but I'm fairly sure he had like tens or jacks, something like that. Lost a load of my stack doing that, so then I was fairly short again. Tried to steal a couple of times and go my way, and then ended up having to shove. Someone raised the button. Like, well, I don't believe you. And he had a middle stack as well, so it was nice to shove against. I had jack 3 or something, stuffed it in. And he decided he found a call with king queen, and it held up. So it's just one of those days.
Started with 88,000 and worked my way up to 170,000 with a couple of big pots. But then I lost a 100k pot with ace jack to ace king. I don't know his name, unfortunately. So I think I have around 120,000 at the moment.
So we're 4 hours into day 2. We're down to 25 players. Stay tuned for more updates.